with whoever we were with. Wouldn't that be so much simpler than all of this cancerous choice, this whole consumer's view of intimacy?
And here he found himself channeling, unconsciously or not, the blogger's article.
Then this whole anxiety would be nullified, and our souls could take wings instead of shrivel.
He pounded the bar with his fist.
Oh!
There were tears shaking in his eyes.
I got it.
Hey, the two women didn't know him. I was very much annoyed by his outburst, not to mention unmoved.
They said something polite and then tried to turn away, but the nurse was adamant, sir.
And he walked between them, so he was facing them one at a time as he turned back and forth, articulating further his anti-breakup treatise.
He blamed all the world's calamities on the casualness with which people broke up and the gamesmanship with which they approached romance, conscious or not.
The two women looked at each other and communicated many things with their eyes, the way that people who have been together for a very long time can.
Then one of them turned to him and told him to get the fuck out of their faces! They were trying to have a private conversation!
The other one said, yeah, but thanks for your opinion, Jack. He looked shocked, as if suddenly aware that it might be annoying to have someone you don't know tell you what they think about love.
The nurse apologized profusely, and then he went back to his bar stool. But then the women just looked at him and shook their heads.
Out on the sidewalk, one of the women lit up a smoke. The other one watched her light it. Then they laughed at the ridiculousness of what had just happened. They shared a little moment then where they almost bonded, smiling in each other's eyes and both thinking the same thing, that when it was just them, they were miserable. But when it was them against the world, or that nurse, for instance, or anyone whom they could position as their antagonist, they felt like they fit into each other like perfect puzzle pieces. Then they both got, or seemed to get, extremely sad again.
The nurse was watching from the window. He seemed to be trying to read their lips. The women shook their heads.
They had had this whole conversation before. They knew they had to break up.
It was just hard to do so on the heels of the solidarity that they had shared in the face of that annoying man. Dude. Now it was going to be harder than it would have been if they had just done it angry, like they had been about to before he so stupidly interrupted.
They cursed the nurse. And then they broke up, bitterly. And they turned away from one another and started to walk in opposite directions.
But after a few steps, the smoker turned back around, and she watched the other woman, who just kept walking. Then the smoker shouted down the sidewalk.
Wait!
The non-smoker turned back around.
What if we just got married?
The smoker asked. Then she flicked her cigarette into the street, and there was a burst of sparks as it struck the side window of a school bus, bathed in sinister lamplight. The smoker stepped through the shower of sparks, unblinking, staring at her almost ex, awaiting her response. The proposed to finally said, "Are you insane?"
Maybe, blurted the smoker. I don't know. I'm just saying. What if that crazy guy there wasn't actually crazy?
The other one considered it. She looked back at the bar. The nurse in the window, hands on the glass, transfixed like a child who wants Santa or the tooth fairy to be real. Then the proposed to sighed and turned back to the smoker. The smoker shrugged. Well, the proposed to bit her lip, shook her head, twisted one hand and the other, and she shook her head again and said she just didn't know. But seeing her playing with her hands like that gave the smoker an idea.
Rock, paper, scissors.
What?
Rock, paper, scissors, the smoker said, striking her palm with her fist. If I win, we get married. And if you win, then we'll break up.
I guess, it'd be easier to bear if we didn't have to decide ourselves.
Exactly. But it's not up to us, it's up to fate.
Suppose you thought about it. Let's do 2 out of 3.
The smoker nodded, of course.
Okay. They bounced their hands in their palms 3 times, and then the proposed to picked rock, and the smoker picked paper.
Boom! Yeah!
They did it again. This time, the proposed to picked rock again, and the smoker picked scissors. Ha! The proposed to said.
What you want?
I know. I was trying to lose, though.
Now you want to get married?
I don't know. I mean, in that moment, I did.
This is stupid! The smoker shouted, waving her hands in the air. This is no way to decide anything. This is a mockery of intimacy.
Oh, fuck intimacy, the proposed to said. Where has intimacy ever gotten us? Oh, talking about our relationship for the millionth time in some fucking dive bar?
Oh my God, you're right. Pathetic.
No, we're not. Not if we follow through just for once on something. The proposed to held her fist above her palm. It's tied. Let's do this. Let's finish it. The smoker looked apprehensive. And the proposed to added, we will up the stakes. If you win, we will still get married.
The smoker nodded, listening.
But if I win, we kill ourselves.
Whoa! Why would we do that?
No, I know it sounds extreme, but I've been thinking about what that total loser said in the bar. If we break up, we're just gonna second guess why we broke up, maybe forever, and whatever we feel about it, we'll fuck up whoever we meet next, if we're even lucky enough to meet anyone. No, I am sick of it. I'm 46, okay? You're 37. Seems unfair.
Thank you.
What more could we possibly learn or get out of life that we haven't already? I mean, what are we waiting for? Old age? Oh, where there's even more regret, more fear, more anxiety about dying. Marriage is the only stage that we have never taken it to. State-sanctioned, public, permanent commitment. And I'm not even that big a fan of it, but not knowing what it would actually be like, that's the only thing keeping me interested. Other than that, I'm ready to check out. Yeah, the long goodbye. 6 feet under. Now, how about you?
The smoker thought about it for a moment. And then nodded heartily. Fuck it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, fuck yeah, let's just do this.
Awesome, ready?
Smoker nodded.
They both pounded their fists in their palms 3 times and then shot. They tied twice. Both rocks, then both scissors. And then finally, the proposed to won, her rock crushing the smoker's scissors and sealing their suicide pact. There was a moment of tearful recognition that this was the end of their lives. Then they decided they better hurry up and kill themselves before they changed their minds again. So the proposed to went back into the bar and came back out with 2 steak knives from the kitchen. And then they stabbed each other repeatedly. In the window, pounded the glass in horror.
Oh my God, the nurse shouted!
Then he turned around to see if anyone else was seeing what he was seeing. But all the other patrons in the bar were just watching sports on the screens and cheering for their teams or talking shit about the other teams. As he watched their bodies dye the moonlit sidewalk, the nurse fathomed the consequences of his meddling.
They were gonna break up already? My God, not like this! If I had, oh my God, what have I done?
His face withered. He bit his tongue. And then he put his face in his hands and he wept. Pounded his forehead against the glass, rattling it, causing a frat boy eating a buffalo wing to glare at him. And then he clawed the grimy wood of the windowsill.
Because he was a nurse, he knew that there was nothing that he could do for them. But he dialed 911 out of posterity anyway.
Behind the pile of bodies, the school bus shined doubly menacingly in the moonlight and the lamplight.
While the phone was ringing, the nurse vaguely recalled a bus of similar description had hit the man whom the surgeon that he'd been in love with had been trying to save while breaking up with him.
But this thought dissolved as soon as it materialized.
The 911 operator asked what his emergency was. And the nurse said,
I just saw two women stab each other outside.
And he was just about to name the bar when the smoker got up. She was standing, wiping herself off. The nurse nearly dropped the phone. Then he watched as she helped the proposed to get up too. The two women looked back at the bar, then at each other. And then they went back inside, squeezing blood out of the fronts of their shirts.
hello? The 911 operator asked, where was the stabbing?
The couple stood before him. The proposed to held up a tube of fake blood. Then the smoker held up one of the steak knives and then shoved it into her hand, except the blade disappeared with a springing sound up into the handle of the knife.
Never mind, the nurse whispered. False alarm.
The smoker raised an eyebrow at him and then stabbed him in the crotch. But it just jabbed him into the handle and the women laughed.
Then they explained to him that the whole scene had just been a piece of performance art designed to teach him not to meddle in other people's breakups because you never know what could happen.
The proposed to added that when you meddle in someone else's breakup, it initiated a butterfly effect. You see, when you try to stop a breakup, you may end up making it worse. You may cause 1,000 breakups, or a double suicide.
We're still breaking up, but hopefully you've learned not to butt into other people's dramas.
The nurse's tears were dry at this point, but he asked them stutteringly how they'd managed to plan this whole thing.
And they said that back at the bar, they had passed notes on cocktail napkins while he was going off about how everyone should stay together, the human condition.
Any other questions the smoker asked?
The nurse shook his head.
Good. Now watch this. And the proposed to turned to the smoker and said, I break up with you. The smoker nodded and said, and I with you. And then the two women shook hands and left the bar by different exits. The nurse just stood there, staring at his own empty hands.
The bartender shouted at him, "Hey, you want another, pal?"
He nodded, and then went back to his original bar stool.
He wished the women had not left, so that he could thank them for the lengths they'd gone to show him something about love that he had not understood. And also to thank you. And also to apologize for butting into their conversation so obnoxiously. He vowed that if he ever saw them again, he would pay them back. But after a couple of drinks, he forgot about that vow. He spent the rest of the night wondering if he was truly over the surgeon, and if he wasn't, when he would be.
The drunker he got, the more over the surgeon he believed he was. Then he got so drunk, he started watching sports on the screens and really getting into it.
It's actually quite beautiful.
drama, the athleticism, the mysticism of fandom, the pageantry, the history.
The blistering humanity of it all overwhelms him. He spent $80 that night on drinks and appetizers and doesn't remember coming home. Okay. Here you go. This reminds me of a short poem by Baudelaire. My translation. If you're not already drunk, get drunk. Nothing else works. That's the only way. If you don't want to feel the horrible burden of time weighing you down and crushing you flat to the ground, get drunk. God, and then once you're drunk, stay drunk. On what, though? Wine? Poetry? Virtue? Whatever you want, but get drunk and stay drunk. And then one day, if you find yourself waking up on the steps outside the palace gates, or in the soft green grass of a ditch in the middle of a summer afternoon, or in the prison cell